much weight do you think is on Superman Legacy's shoulders? The DCU for sure, and the DC brand as a whole, the WB brand as a whole, the comic book movies as a whole, it feels like that film is going to be the last chance for comic book cinematic universes. Well, I wouldn't go quite that grandiose. I wouldn't, put all of the weight of the whole genre on its shoulders. But I think it could be the test of how much demand are there for comic book movies now. And it somewhat depends on, is it good or not? In a broad sense. I'm pretty sure what Warner Brothers, what they probably want to do with this universe is not copy the MCU, but make 4-quadrant movies the way the MCU makes 4-quadrant movies. The 4 quadrants are men, women, over 25, under 25. So if you can get grown-ups, boys and girls, all to show up, all 4 quadrants, then you can make billion-dollar films and big, gigantic hit films. That's what the MCU has done well. That's what Disney tends to do well. They make movies with very broad appeal that a lot of people can like. And one of the problems with the DCEU is they made movies that appeal to specific quadrants. And that's also one of the issues that modern MCU is running into, where She-Hulk really appeals to one quadrant and not as much the other 3. And Ms. Marvel appeals to one quadrant, and other ones. Secret Invasion works for one quadrant, not so much the other ones. And a lot of the stuff more recently isn't as broad appeal. So with Superman Legacy, the question is, can they make a Superman movie that makes close to $1 billion or makes over $1 billion? Can they make something that is very broad appeal? And that's what Aquaman did. Aquaman, almost no one's favorite DC superhero, is the highest grossing DC movie of all time. Why? Well, because it's a movie that it's filled with action, bright colors, even pop music. It's very broadly accessible to a lot of people, where guys just tend to like this genre. Adults and kids can watch it, and then it has Jason Momoa, so ladies like it too. And legitimately, it's one of the movies my wife puts on to go to bed to. That's what she'll just put on when she wants to sleep and have something in the background that she enjoys, but doesn't need to watch the whole thing. Aquaman. I didn't even realize how often she does that until it was time to watch the new one. She's like, I put it on all the time. So can it capture that broad appeal? And Superman is one of these characters that he's never had $1 billion film. There's no $1 billion films with Superman. And really, the heyday of Superman was in the early 80s with Superman 1 and 2, where he was the first and dominant of the superhero blockbusters. But they haven't really recaptured that fully. Even Man of Steel was a hit, but it wasn't that big of a hit. And so can they do that? Can they make something that is broadly accessible that gets people excited again? But I do fear that the bubble has just burst on the genre, that we're past the prime, that people don't want a comic book movie every single month anymore. And some combination of too many movies for too long combined with too many TV shows for the last 4 years that are tied into universes that just burned everybody out. Maybe that's happened. So I think there's some validity to that. Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month for $2 per month, $20 per year. You can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams for $5 per month. You get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.